Well, hybrid and remote working environments are becoming the new norm, as we know, with lockdowns showing companies and their staff some of the benefits. But how can you keep your team engaged and collaborate successfully in this new era? Trent Allday is the CEO of Sope Web Technologies and joins us now to help us be a little bit smarter. Welcome. How are you today?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very, very well. So tell me, just firstly, what you have seen, change over the past couple of years. A lot has changed, I imagine, right, when it comes to where we work and how we work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the big thing that we're seeing right now is that people wanting to do remote work. And I think the businesses requesting that everyone come back into the office, working 9 till 5 and 5 days a week. I think those days are behind us. There's so many benefits to remote work, and I think the biggest benefits is around the work-life balance and just the time saved, potentially removing the commute to the office. That can be a huge time saver for so many. We can put back that time and give it back to ourselves, making us happier and healthier people. And I also think remote work is a great benefit to both sides of the equation. Both from an employee's perspective and from an employee's perspective. The talent pool has become much bigger for employers, and the opportunities are now far and wide. And from an employee's perspective, there's now new opportunities for those that may live in rural or smaller capital cities. And those opportunities are now available for them to apply for those roles. And we've also seen remote job postings have increased by a factor of 5 during this pandemic. So yeah, overall, I think this is going to be a massive positive for both employees and employers.
I think it's a great story and it's really interesting, and I think all of that makes sense. The one thing I think about is for people who make the decisions, leaders, managers, as to how their staff work in companies, is there pressure on those people? Because a lot of them, I imagine, are fairly traditional and conservative and just say, come back to the office and do your work. So what's your experience been like when it comes to the people who make these decisions for their staff?
Well, what we're seeing is that over 70% of workers want flexible work options, right? So that's a balance of wanting 2 or 3 days at home and maybe 2 or 3 days in the office. So a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. But we think the overall benefit for hybrid and remote work far outweighs those cons. And so I think this is the future that we're in.
So tell us more about what you're talking about or encouraging. What is the best workplace at the moment, do you think? Is it listening to staff, making those changes, being super flexible? What's the best way that you're experiencing?
Oh, absolutely. I think flexibility is key. And I think we're seeing so many businesses far and wide having to scramble and really stay up to date through this rapid change that is being brought upon us. And so businesses have needed to implement the right technology to ensure that people can continue to collaborate effectively when they're not necessarily in the same physical room. And so keeping everyone aligned and connected and feeling still like a cohesive team is a massive challenge for many. And so that's where Sope comes in.
So tell me a bit about what you're up to exactly. How are you making this transition easier for companies?
Yeah, sure. Look, I think what we do is about building engaging intranets, and I think that's a key part of this remote work lifestyle. So tools like Microsoft 365 and specifically SharePoint and Microsoft Teams, these are the standouts in really helping people work better together. And today, it's essential to have a single source of truth where your business information is centralized, up to date, and accessible from anywhere and any device. And we've been helping many businesses through these challenges since the start of the pandemic. And having systems like an intranet to stay in the know about what's happening within the organization. So staying up to date with business related news, what's happening within the business, access to documents, policies and procedures, knowledge base articles. These are just some of the examples of helping teams work better together through these times. And I think we're still adjusting to this whole remote work, but the pandemic has really forced us to reconsider our work-life balance. Yep. And ultimately, we've created new ways of staying connected.
Super interesting. Trent, thank you so much for your time. Keep us up to date with how it moves through in these changing times.
Cool, thank you.